defensive line, if you think about it, wasn't that inexperienced. There was only the young lad in at fullback. What was his name? Larouci.
Well, Gomez and Matip, sometimes, you say how well they've done this season, how much they've progressed, especially Matip. Gomez at the start of the year, Matip towards the end. They say that they've progressed a lot, but do we underestimate how big of a person Van Dijk is to play with? If they're maybe switching off, okay, I know we're early in pre-season, but if those two are maybe not switching off, we don't know really who's the main guy out of them two. In one centre-back partnership, there's always the one guy, your Rio Ferdinand, your Jamie Carragher, your John Terry's. You always have that main defender. Van Dijk is that for us. So you don't know which one is the main one out of them two that's taking control.
Currently, on current experience, it should be Matip.
It should be.
And he has shown some of that. I actually like the way Matip's set up, to be honest. Though the back end of the season, I thought he played really, really well and developed and came on. But I'm just thinking, early on in a game, you don't switch off like that, even if it's pre-season. And I do think Klopp will be having some major words with that back line, because it shouldn't have happened.
Well, talking about players making a statement and, providing a bit of reassurance, Alisson's got to be put into the pitch as well. We know Mignolet is probably one of the best second keepers to have in the whole of the Premier League. But, with Alisson there, when he gets the ball to his feet, does he not just either send it, or does he control it better and whip it out to the other side fullback?
Absolutely.
So is it, maybe it might have been a poor pass back to him, but maybe these players are a bit used to more having Alisson that can bring the ball down and spray it to the other side.
No question about it. Mignolet made some great saves in that game.
He's a great shot stopper.
Fantastic saves.
No one's ever questioned his shot stopping, but it's the way the modern Liverpool, the Klopp way of playing. We need a goalkeeper that can use his feet.
Well, it just took you back a couple of seasons to the exact kind of scenarios we were in when we had Mignolet in goal.
And it's these cheap goals that cost us. We got back into the game that we'll go through later, but there are these cheap 1%ers that were costing us.
Yeah.
And even cost us in the season that just went.
Yeah, I blame the defence for switching off for the goal, but ultimately, for me, it was Mignolet's fault as far as I'm concerned, because that control and then him just hitting it out for a throw-in wasn't good enough for the level of goalkeeper that we need. Good enough for a backup, number two, but you totally understand why we have Alisson as number one.
On the Liverpool YouTube and whatever the LFC, they had the live training session. It was an open training session, and usually it's a bit of, they come out, they do a bit of a rondo, they warm up, they mess around, do a bit of a kick around, and that's it. Wave to the fans. But this one was a proper training session. Listen to the Anfield Rap. They tried to get the lads to speak to them after the games, but no, they are dripping with sweat. It was a proper training session. And for those that haven't, I recommend go watching, especially the 11v11 at the end, and go have a look and see if you can understand what rules they were playing, because, Pep Linders was just shouting things. I know. Sometimes it was press, sometimes it was hold back, this was one touch, blah, blah, blah. So, because it's pre-season. In a real game, if that came to Mignolet or even Alisson, after his poor touch, it probably goes down the pitch. I reckon Mignolet's got that, and because it's pre-season and he's been told, play out from the back, results don't matter. Even though his touch has been bad, he's tried to find Klein, but because he has been rushed, it's ended up going out for a throw-in.
Yeah.
So if you say, yes, it is poor, because the touch is poor, but being realistic, maybe in a bit more of a competitive game, that just gets sent. Even if it is for a throw-in, it's up in their half, not our own. I reckon he tries to find Klein personally, and you gotta weigh up the pros and cons. What did we get out of sending the ball up the pitch? We gotta try and play out.
I get